Hi everyone, my name is Bara Oshai, and today we're going to be discussing the classroom library, establishing the ideal environment. So this topic of research is focused on the classroom environment, which is Danielson's second domain area. It focuses on the importance of establishing a strong and welcoming environment where the expectations are to use the library's resources to further students' learning. This especially places critical importance on interaction between students and teachers, as well as students with other students. It's important for students to understand that the library is more than a typical classroom and that the environment is based off of a child's needs, whether it be research, reading, projects, etc. So we're going to have two learning outcomes today. The first is librarians will learn how to form an interactive classroom environment focused on the students using the library to their advantage. And the second will be librarians will learn how to set the tone for the classroom and communicate to students their expectations while using the library. So the library itself has evolved. A school library is no longer just a space to check out a book and leave. The implementation of technology, maker spaces, and librarians actually teaching lessons has really helped with that. Schultz-Jones quoted stating, "The school library learning environment is more than a setting that connotes a physical space and a nurturing climate. It has become a multidimensional context for multidisciplinary learning." It's important to take all of this into context when establishing your classroom environment. Know the space you're in, know your resources, and what you have to work with. So Courtney Pentland has this awesome article, and she states that there are 3 concepts to creating the ideal environment. The first is build your relationships. The second is establish clear and consistent procedures and routines. And the third is know when to stick with it, start over, or ask for help. So first we're going to talk about building relationships. Now, Danielson really stresses a culture of inquiry in her domain. And Barker and Holden have this great quote stating, "Something that can be done as early as the first day of school is creating an environment in which making mistakes is acceptable." This is important because if students know that they can make mistakes and they know that they can correct each other and correct you even, and just have this space where they can be honest and comfortable, they're going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to share their opinions and learn more about the environment that they're in. And Franz Mess is a librarian at the Viscount Primary School in New Zealand, and she started the Secret Book Club. And she used the Secret Book Club to encourage students to read and discuss their interests. And what Mess found is that the more students that joined the club, the more read, and the more wanted to find out more topics that they liked. They were interested in discussing things with her and the other students, and they just really gained more interest in the library itself, which is what you want. And also, don't forget to talk to your faculty. They're a great source of information. Find out what students have been through. Maybe they're going through something outside of school. Find out who they are, what their interests are, what they like. Now, for the second point, you want to establish clear and consistent procedures and routines. So have a consistent routine. Students should be aware of what is expected of them every time they walk through the door. Be clear with your expectations. Let students know the goals that they should work towards. Also let them know about consequences. What kind of consequences are there for their actions? Are the administration involved, and what point do they get involved? Now, a great example of a positive reinforcement method that can help with this expectations and procedures is the NCR method, or the non-contingent reinforcement. Coy and Kostowitz in their article use it and discuss it quite a bit, and they state that the NCR is effective for addressing relatively minor and more serious and challenging behaviors. Now I'm going to go over an example of the NCR and how you can use it in your classroom to establish that behavior and what you want out of your students. So you can define a problem or behavior. So say you have a student that anytime you share a story or you have a discussion, he acts out, he talks. So you speak with the other teachers, you notice that they do it too, he does it with them too. And now you're going to observe him. You're going to see what he enjoys when he goes to the library. What activities is he drawn to? What items is he drawn to? Who does he hang out with when he's in there? And you're going to take note of that. And then you're going to find out how you can implement that into every time that he's there for class, or if he's just there in general. So you're going to write that down. So say that you notice that he really likes the makerspace. He really likes working with his hands and getting down and dirty. So you're going to write that down and you're going to try to take maybe 10 minutes every time he's there to make time for a makerspace. And then you implement that and you see if it works. And if that helps make him a little less boisterous, if that grasps his attention more, that's great. If maybe he still interrupts, try to find other activities that he enjoys doing and try to implement that as well. Now, the final point is know when to stick with it, start over, or ask for help. And William states one of the best things about being a school librarian is the opportunity to see the whole school curriculum, participate in creating the school climate, and help faculty and administration see where the natural links between teachers and teaching ideas. So be flexible. Find what works and what doesn't. If something works, keep it up. Keep doing it. If something doesn't work, try a different approach. Ask your faculty for help. They often work with the same students that you do. And also seek advice from your administrator because they're there for more than just evaluating you. They can give you advice on what to do. Oftentimes, many of them are educators themselves. Also, consult with others in your field. Perhaps there's others that you work with in the library and you can see what they do, or you can talk to librarians from other schools and see what they do with their lessons, how they get students involved, etc. So, I hope that you've learned from what was discussed today and that you can implement this into your own classrooms and libraries. Thank you for listening.